Dear Cheri, how often should I apply marijuana topicals? And by the way, I have to say thank you. I took your DIY topicals course and I have been making my own pain relief salve that does wonders on my arthritis. Oh, that is awesome to hear. I actually can make it at half the dose of what I used to buy, which makes it less expensive, and also making my own is a fraction of what it used to cost me to buy at the dispensary. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, you are very welcome for that. If anyone else is interested in my topicals course, definitely see the comments below. There'll be a link, and I'll even put in a coupon code on that. But thank you for those kind words. Okay, but you also want to know how often you should apply or reapply your marijuana topicals, and that is a great question. Before I get to the answer, though, just want to remind everybody, hit that YouTube subscribe button and notification bell because I try to upload new videos every Wednesday. And if you get value out of my videos, please do me a favor and hit that like button too, because it helps us be seen and helps improve our rankings with the YouTube algorithm. So thank you, thank you, thank you for hitting that like button too. Okay, so how often should you apply topicals? As often as you need to. So I really applaud your ingenuity here, or experimentation. I'm glad you took the course and you learned how to make salve, and I'm glad that you took my advice and also played around with the dosing, because one of the first feedbacks I ever got when I first created my course was from a man who found the same thing that you did. He could make his salve at half the dosage of what he was buying in the dispensary, which was a very high dose topical, but he found that he didn't really need it, that at half the dose his pain was going away, kind of like you found as well, and that is sometimes the case. So it always pays to kind of experiment when you're making your own, and it's one of the joys and beauties of making your own is that you have the freedom to do that. So if you need half the cannabis, well, that's half the expensive cannabis, so you've already made it a lot more affordable to have these healing, pain-relieving topicals. And why use more? If you don't need more, you're just wasting weed. So it's really smart of you, and I commend you for figuring out what your symptoms responded to. So that's really great. As to how often you should reapply it, well, whenever the relief is going away. You can use cannabis topicals very freely, with the exception of transdermal patches, which is not what we're going to make ourselves, or not what we make in the course. That's something entirely different. But other regular cannabis topicals, like you rub on your skin, don't cross the blood barrier. We've talked about this in other videos, so they're not going to make you high or cause you to fail a drug test. So you really can use them as often as you need. They're not going to even make you feel impaired. So unlike smoking marijuana or eating edibles, you don't even have to worry about that. But even when it comes to using marijuana in those forms, and I'll put a link in the comments below to another video that I did about this, cannabis is one of the few substances on earth and medications that you can use what's called ad libre. And I discussed this with my cannabis mentor, registered nurse and cannabis specialist, Lenny Swerdlow. And he said, you know, when it comes to like prescriptions, there are PRN medicines, which mean take as needed, and those often have limits on them as well. For instance, you know, take every 4 hours as needed for pain. So if you are not having pain, you're not going to take that. But cannabis is one of the few things that is known as ad libre. It might be the only medication that's ad libre because it's so safe that you can take as much as you need to get the relief you're seeking, whatever your symptoms are and your tolerance levels. We've talked about this in other videos. Everybody's very different, but that goes even more so, though, with topicals. You can use them as much as you need to get the relief that you need, because, again, they're not going to make you high. So that's great to use that way. If you're using topicals and you find you're not getting any relief, then maybe they're not, what your conditions are not responding to that either dose, or they may or may not respond to topical cannabis. Some things do, others don't. So it really does pay to experiment, because everyone responds to cannabis in all of its forms very differently. So I really commend you for those experiments, and I'm glad you're having great luck with the pain relieving salve that the course taught you to make. Everybody else, please check out the course and see how you can make your own DIY cannabis topicals as well. See you all next time.